What's going on? It's your boy King Des here. Another episode of Brunch with the Boys. We are so happy to be here with you this evening. I'm doing fantastic. How we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Jeezy, y'all already know I'm ready. Hi.
Hey, it's Mr. Gent out here.
Yeah.
And we actually have a guest with us today. So please introduce yourself, sir.
My name's Teroy, but in the podcast community, I go by Joe.
Yeah. So, and your podcast is?
I have two. I have Thoughts of an Average Joe. That's my main one. The other one is Baby Daddy Chronicles, where I focus on fathers who have kids and the positive influence they have in their lives.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I didn't see it going that way. When I heard Baby Daddy, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I try to switch up the narrative.
Bring that ratchet shit. Bring that ratchet shit.
Nah, that's nothing like that.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up, brother. Good stuff. What we getting into tonight?
So listen, we're going to get into respect. Everyone's familiar with what went down with Will and Jada and Chris, how Will slapped the shit out of that nigga, you know what I'm saying, unnecessarily in my opinion. And we just want to talk about the reasons we believe, you know, this happened. And that, in my opinion, is a lack of respect. And the importance of respect in a relationship is probably everything. I've said this before, men interpret love through respect. So without respect, it can lead us to do some crazy things like, I don't know, slap niggas on national TV for no reason. You know what I mean? So let's get right into it on your thoughts. Do you think that Will was he in the right for protecting his woman or defending her honor, I should say? How do you view this situation?
No, he was not right for slapping that man. He wasn't protecting shit. I'm going to tell you, an insecure guy who's taking a bunch of shit and let it build up. This happened on a national platform, and I felt like he had to do something. I think that had more to do with Will's insecurity than it had to do with Jada. That's just my 2 cents, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? And I think that it was a perfect storm. I think he felt like he could slap Chris Rock. I think he felt like he could get away with it, and I don't think that Will's actions would have been consistent had there been a perhaps different presenter. I don't think he would have slapped Denzel. And I'm not talking about because Denzel would have beat him up. I'm saying I don't think he would have slapped Denzel. I don't think he would have slapped The Rock. I don't think he would have slapped Dave Chappelle. I think he might have slapped Dave. It would have been a bad decision.
Yeah, they beat him. Probably about that.
So the bottom line is I think Will slapped somebody he felt like he could slap, and he used that. I'm protecting Jada and keeps my wife's name out your phone. Shut the fuck up. I mean, she's been disrespecting his ass for years now, and you just a simp to me. So I didn't respect it at all. I think he's a sucker, and I lost respect for him.
Do you think it was his job to even defend Jada? I mean, is it a man's job? We're in this. We live in a society now where women are more empowered than ever. Is it also our job to defend them in a situation where it has nothing to do with physical violence and everything? This is basically words.
In my opinion, yes. I felt like he should have handled it differently. I don't feel like he should have slapped him. You should have just, especially in that magnitude, when you get backstage, talk to him. Because now you have ramifications that's going to live with you for the rest of your life. Instead of them celebrating you getting the award, it's always going to be the night that Will slapped Chris. Yeah. I do feel like if a man is making fun of your wife, it's your job to say something. But what he did, he went overboard. That's my opinion on it. If somebody say something slick to my girl, I'm going to come up to him like, hey, bro, like, you know what I'm saying, watch your mouth. And if it keeps getting there, then we might have to go there. But it just come out of nowhere and just whack, and then keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I just felt like it was too much. Is
there a difference from disrespecting your wife versus making a joke?
It is. Me personally, I don't.
At the expense of your wife.
I don't think the alopecia joke was as deep as he made it seem to be. Because it's not like she had cancer. Yeah. Now, she had cancer.
Come on, man. Nobody would have made that joke.
I get it. But alopecia, like, that's not like something to where, like, you're dying from or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You just got to cut your hair off.
And she been bald-headed her whole career.
Given the fact that before alopecia, that you acting like Chris Rock was a fucking groupie and he is knowing the chronicles of Jada day in, day out, he might not even known that she had that particular condition. So at the end of the day, him making a comment, he was making a comment strictly on the physical appearance of this chick having a bald head, and he's talking about G.I. Jane. And G.I. Jane was a bad bitch. She was a tough bitch. She was a killer. It wasn't even something like she was a lame bitch, and therefore you had a negative connotation with the character. It was unnecessary at best, bro. It wasn't there.
I think even if he knew she had alopecia, I still don't think that shit was that deep.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's not like he wrote the joke. Yeah. Somebody else wrote the joke. So, like, if you're going to slap Chris, then you got to slap everybody down.
Really,
but I argue with you on that because I think, listen, at the end of the day, you know, Charlamagne the Guy said something about this, and he's probably not the first person to say it, but I fuck with it. He says, you can control your actions, but you can't control how people react to what you do.
Yeah.
So whether somebody else wrote the joke or not, which is possible, right? I mean, he's a good comedian. He could have wrote it, but I think Chris is better than that joke anyway. So say somebody else wrote it, you knew it was going to come out your mouth. But I also say this too. When you go to award shows and you sit in the front row, this shit ain't fucking new. Yeah. I've known since I was a kid, whether you're at MTV Awards, the BET Awards, the fucking Oscars, the Tonys.
The roast is coming.
If you in the front row, that person hosting the show, whether they're a comedian or not, is going to start finding motherfuckers and talking about shit. And you better have your fucking scruples about you, or you're going to get your feelings hurt. So I thought that shit was all fact. And then let me tell you something, and then we can get back to it. But he slapped that motherfucker in the face and sat his fucking ass down in the front row and looked at that nigga for the rest of the show. Let me tell you something. The self-control that Chris Rock,
I was just about to say
the bitch-assness, I don't know him well enough to know which one it is. Yeah. The self-control is bitch-assness. To let the motherfucker that slapped you sit in front of you 8-9 feet away and look at you for another 2 hours. Got the right one that night, didn't he? Will got the right one.
But he's probably thinking more about his pockets and future endeavors, and that was a wise move.
I feel like he about to be even richer off of this.
Oh, yeah, he came up on the right end of it.
Yeah, they about to ask him for specials about it and everything.
Who?
Chris Rock.
But let me ask you a question, though. And I'm not disagreeing with you guys, but goddamn, dog, that's where we got to. Chris Rock is a multi-millionaire. I don't know his net worth. I would guarantee you it's probably at least $40-50 million. Right?
That's right.
So, like, at what point you willing to let a nigga slap you in your face on national television to the ends of fucking time for an extra 10 or 15?
I don't think that's
I think it's the impact of his career.
Here's what I gotta say to that, right? Let's say Chris Rock retaliates, right? What's happening to Will is gonna happen to Chris. So Chris was looking strictly from his pockets. Like, if you look at Will, like, all his movies getting canceled.
Are they really?
Yeah, like Bad Boys 4 done got canceled. The Netflix special he's about to do got canceled.
Are you serious?
You know the cancel culture is serious, bro. That junk is...
They canceled Bad Boys 4?
Mm-hmm.
Cancel culture is real. Now I'm slightly mad about it, too. You done ruined it for everybody, but cancel culture is real, man.
So if I'm Chris Rock, I would like to slap him back, but in the day, I got to look at my pockets.
That's interesting. So that's a good point you brought up, so I respect that. Do we think people... I know we got to get back on target, but, like, do we think motherfuckers is not going? Do they think people are not going to see Bad Boys 4 because Will slapped Chris Rock in the face? Yeah. I don't think most people give a fuck. I think that's a reach.
More popular, actually.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay.
Help raise ticket sales. So,
interesting.
Just to speak on some of the importance of respect. When you show respect, it means that you truly love someone. And Will felt as if he had to be overprotective around, you know what I'm saying, his respect for Jada, and that's what led him to take action here. I don't know. I just don't know how to address this, dog. I don't get why Will is loving this hoe. You know, I know this is off subject, but the man is rich, man. Your kids are grown.
Sometimes you can't help who you love.
That's facts.
So let's take away. If you shed away the money, what Will Smith is a man, just a regular man, an average man. If you take away his celebrity and his cash, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, if you sit there and look at that, he is looking for love, right? And you can tell that he truly respects Jada because of how he loves her. He truly respects her because he ain't messy. None of his shit has ever come out in regards to it negatively shading Jada. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't misrepresent her on any platform disrespectfully. He only shines her in a positive light. That's respect. When Jada does it, she drags that motherfucker out on the red table. She basically tells him that your sex ain't, well, you know what? Me and you weren't good and I wasn't being satisfied and therefore I went and looked for something else and it's an entanglement. You basically told the world that your man can't fuck. Do you understand how detrimental it is for his singledom?
And that nigga stayed.
And he stayed.
Listen to me.
You right.
Listen to me. I need these motherfuckers out here. Stop coming to Will's defense, dog. He is a fucking sucker. Okay? He is a sucker. And let me tell you why. This woman has repeatedly said she'll never let this nigga. She married to him and got 2 kids as much as she loved Tupac. She said that nationally. She said it to him. She said it on the fucking red table. She fucking August Alsina in Will's houses, his homes, multiple homes for years, right? Years. And we talking about you can't help what you love. You right about that, but you can help who the fuck you stay with. I can love your ass from afar. So I don't want to hear no fucking Will support. He is a sucker that has let this woman manipulate him. And listen, as long as we can all agree to that, he a sucker. Then I got no argument.
We can agree with that, but let me add this to D, because I'm not sure if you knew this. The whole marriage, her side of it was never predicated on love to fucking begin with. You understand that she has gone on record and said this, that she only fucked with him and married him solely because he had a kid, right? And she never wanted to be with him, but her mother basically said, this is a good man. This is someone that you need to be with and build a life with. But she had zero interest in truly ever fucking being with him. So if it's predicated on the fact that, bitch, you never really wanted to be with him in the first place, how was she ever going to respect a man that she never really loved like that?
We keep talking about Jada. I hear everything you're saying, and my response is, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
he
really
married her. So the minute you realize a bitch is not here for you, she don't really love you, she love every other nigga other than you, you got to leave.
Yeah.
You got to leave. What are we talking about? I don't want to hear shit about Jada. Jada out here living her life with a nigga that let her live her life. Yeah. Kudos to fucking Jada. What she need to get is a fucking round of applause and not the slander she getting. We need to slander that nigga for putting up with it.
Real
and that
talk.
nigga's got to come in defense.
And it's weird that
it's
weird that he seems to be trying to earn her respect versus the other way around. You know what I mean? And it seems like that's what he's fighting for.
A real man, you're gonna request, demand even the respect from your woman. You agree with that, Joe?
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it's easy to put a woman in her place, and they want to be checked. So when you leave them unchecked, they will, run amok, and that's really what's going on here.
Yeah, because
go ahead, Joe.
You can't let her run amok and then try to earn respect. It's too late. You got to establish.
It has to be established.
Thank you. You have to establish that early. I had to learn that.
Yeah.
If it's not established, they ain't gonna take you serious. When you try to put your foot down, it's too late.
Yeah, and I'd argue that it is a possibility for him to rectify this, but he'd have to take extreme measures.
I need every step, nigga.
And that's what I say. I'd argue. I'm not saying that it's truly possible, but it'd have to be extreme measures. And if I'm to speculate, slapping Chris Rock was a part of a huge measure to show her that
what he thought was
you're gonna respect me. So I think some of this is just him trying to earn her respect, and this shows the importance of respect in a relationship because he's yearning for it.
So, fellas, let me ask you a quick question.
Can we hold that 1 second? I just want to interject.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I think it's important. And I don't know this to be fact, but kill y'all. I'm referencing Charlamagne again. I listen to a lot of Breakfast Club, but apparently Will Smith has a book that he wrote. I think it's an autobiography.
Yeah.
And Charlamagne talked about in the book where, and once again, guys, don't fact check me. I'm only taking this from what I heard. And you can find Charlamagne's clip on the Breakfast Club pretty recently. But what he said was, Will in his book describes how all of his life he's felt like a coward because his dad routinely, consistently abused his mom, put his hands on her, beat her ass up and down. And he said he never once tried to stop him. And so he apparently during his adult life, he's taken opportunities to try to assert his courage in the most inopportune or most improper times. And to your point, and this is why I want to inject this, maybe that was, and that's why I said I don't even know that was as much about Jada as it was about
him.
Will,
yes,
right? This person there's a perceived slight against my wife, as slight as it may be, right? And I'm not a coward anymore. I'm Will Smith, and I'm going to show this man on stage who I'm 4 or 5 inches taller than and 50 pounds heavier than how much of a tough guy I am. Yeah. But you ain't do that to your daddy, nigga. So, that's my 2 cents on that, and I think that probably has something to do with it.
No, that's a fair statement. I think the question I was going to ask is, you were talking about you need to assert your dominance or establish your level of respect early in the relationship. Do you believe that you can find that level of respect, assert it at another point of the relationship if it's not the beginning? So, for example, I would think that you can assert it once you feel like, okay, I'm this, that, and other. The girl loves me now. She's inundated by the vibe, whatever the case may be, right? She can't picture life without you. Can you assert yourself and grab back your respect at that one if she's in that state? Or no, you feel like it's all the way gone since you didn't establish it from the beginning?
In my experience, because I'm more of an easygoing type of guy, right?
Yeah.
And I may let some shit slide, but then when it gets to a point to where I don't want to let the shit slide no more, they don't take you serious because you never established that boundary in the beginning. So now it's like, so I feel
Can't
like
let none slide.
I feel like you have to.
Got it.
If not, by the time you get around to doing it, they're not going to take you serious. It's too late.
It's true. You got to check a hoe every time. You can't let nothing slip. And anytime you let it slip, and they let it be okay, they marked it in their head, and they're like, all right, I know how to test that, and they'll hold it against you, and they'll throw that shit in your face,
right?
And they'll push even further the next time, and you are so right. Reestablishing that respect, you can't do it. Depending on your situation, this Will shit is obviously out of control, but depending on the level of how bad it gets, you can take drastic measures and consistently check your woman, and she will fall in line, or you will leave. The ultimate threat in the end of the day is leaving, and that's coming from the man or the woman. You want someone to respect you, you have to be willing to walk away so that they know, hey, I can do without you.
That's
facts.
facts.
Yep. Well said. Well said.
What I mean? So one thing about patience.
That is something that, to be honest with you, when you're thinking about why relationships are respect is important in relationships, man, is you got to learn patience. If you have patience, that's the epitome of showing respect in a relationship. You ever been with somebody and you don't have no patience for them? It comes off disrespectful. They start talking, and all you hear is, God dang, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't respect them, so you have zero patience for them.
And
right?
I'm thinking about it from the other side. I'm thinking about too much patience.
Yeah.
And I think that too often as men, especially men that get married, they tend to have this mindset where I have to make it work, right? And what women don't understand is men love really hard. And if a man marries you, like, he chose you. There are a lot of women out here. So
Facts.
If he married you, trust me, this nigga really loves you. So sometimes men, we get so deep into the relationship. I think a man can be too patient. You said you're easygoing. You let things roll off your back. You're patient with her. You would think that giving her that patience would almost make you more attractive to her. She would appreciate you more because you're taking your time, whereas another nigga would check her so quickly. But that's why it's so important to understand these women really want to be checked.
And it really depends on the type of woman that you're dealing with, too.
Man, that's every woman. How you check her is what differs, but every woman wants to be checked.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So, and I agree with both of you. I think you're going to get to that point. I think the definition of checked is not uniform, right? It has to vary, to Joe's point, based on the type of woman, right? Because if you got here's the thing, and I'm making generalizations here, so ladies, relax, okay? But if you are a woman who is educated, you are a professional, you have provided for yourself, whether or not you have children, you provided for your children, and you literally, right, people say this, but I really mean this, you don't need another individual for anything other than companionship and company, right, and growth, interpersonal growth.
Yep.
Then what you're willing to accept is different from somebody who's just scrapping to get by, needs help wherever they can get it, would love if somebody could get in this fight with them because it's hard and every day I don't know how I'm going to do this. That's a whole different mindset. She'll take more shit from a nigga than the other girl will. And it's not that when they say this, independent women, it's not that independent women won't adjust right and won't do that for the right man, but the amount of shit that they're willing to take is minuscule
in comparison.
Yes, you know.
And just kind of sitting here and talking about that, I think there's a balance between patience and I think in this case Will has a lot of patience with this shit, right? But I think there's a balance between patience and losing your fucking self. And I think that he's been so patient. He's allowed so many things to happen. For example, the construction of this open marriage, right? So this open marriage, she didn't even want that shit. He allowed it to happen solely because Jada grew up in a similar situation. Her parents were in an open relationship as well.
Her mama kind
of she still is fine though. Real talk.
Mama can get
Kinda?
it. No, seriously,
she can get it.
I go in there right now.
I fucked the shit out of that grandma.
Mm-hmm. But sitting here,
did you call her grandma? Call her grandma while you was in it?
Nah, I call her Nana.
Oh, Nana sounds sweeter and sexier.
That's kind of hot, though.
Nana, you like that, Nana? Yeah, baby.
Well, I'm sick, boy. Go ahead.
You hope that she makes some peach cobbler after that shit too.
That's crazy.
But real talk, I feel like in all honesty, if you sitting here and allowing shit, and then you're trying to show this patience with this woman, allowing her to be who you think she needs to be, man, you've lost yourself in this process because you didn't even want it.
You know, respect can be so beneficial to your relationship because it can even lead to you making wiser decisions. You know, when you really respect someone versus when you don't. You know, I think about being single and in college, there were women that I respected more than others. And the ones that I respected, you know, I handled differently. And the ones I didn't, man, I really dish-ragged them hoes. Like, when I think back, I say, man, they probably felt less than, like, man, a person would treat me this way, you know? And not, you know, I have a daughter now, so fuck. But
and your daughter wouldn't allow nobody to treat her the way you treated them.
Exactly. And if I heard anybody there'd be problems. So when I think about the way I treated those women, man, my bad, ladies. You know, I was still learning, but it goes to show how important respect is, because if I respected them more, I would have made wiser decisions about how I handled them. Maybe I wouldn't have cheated on them.
Now, let me ask y'all this.
Is that a maybe? Is that strong maybe, ain't it?
Okay. I mean, I was young, so nobody was safe.
Let me ask y'all this, right? I know in past relationships, when I've gotten hot or I've gotten upset, my woman was able to calm me down. So do you feel like Jada didn't respect Will enough to be like, hey, don't go up there? Because I'm not like anybody going up there, like, you know, like something bad's about to happen. Like, I'm not about to go up there and be like, hey, don't talk to my wife like that. I could have did that shit from my seat.
Yeah. I think a part of her wanted it. A part of her welcomed it. So she would have never stopped this.
You think that? I don't think that at all. Like, I think wanting it and her not respecting Will enough to keep him from making a fool out of himself and different things. And I do agree with that. True. I think she looked at that motherfucker and she said, and this is what you got to remember too, because Joe talked about this. Like, when you don't nip shit in the bud and you don't make shit tight from the beginning, then you're always fighting an uphill battle. And I think every time she looks at that nigga, she goes, I was fucking niggas in your house and you let me.
Oh God!
I told your dumb ass I love Tupac more. You still here.
God.
So there's literally nothing I can do, right? Or there's nothing I can't do, or nothing I should that I would do that would cause me any concern.
She might have enjoyed that shit. Well, she might have enjoyed it.
I think because she's come out subsequently and said that she doesn't think that was the right thing to do.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So my point is, to me, that's all the answer you need, because
she didn't even support her nigga.
If that's your guy, you say, look, maybe he shouldn't have did it, maybe not. It's all about perspective.
But I'm
a ride and die with my husband.
Because he did it for me.
You know what I'm saying?
She could have gave us a political answer.
Correct. And so I think it's exactly that. I think she did not respect him enough, because think about all the women that you guys have had in your life. Mm-hmm. That whether you were married to them, you weren't, kids or nothing, that genuinely, you know it in your heart, they fucked with you.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
loved your black ass, right? And think about how many of them would allow you to do something so stupid.
Hell no. None of them.
That's the answer you need right there.
No, real talk. And you know the worst part is, he could have just made a wiser decision himself, but because he doesn't have her respect. He went outside of himself because there was nothing that was going to prevent him from saying, even if she gave me the look, listen, I see your look, but this ain't the time. So chill. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm going to handle it, but hey, watch it. Right? And then grab that man in the green room and say, hey, let's Chris,
exactly.
Don't do that shit again, bro, because, you know, if you don't want these hands on you, real talk, let's chill with that shit.
No, slap him back there.
And you can slap him back there, but I'm just saying the point of the matter is, dog, self-control is wise, right? And he didn't show any type of wisdom because he had zero self-control.
Though we look at, I think from a, and I'm saying we, I'm going to speak for myself, but when I look at, because I already have a certain kind of thought about Hollywood folks, right? That everything is not what meets the eye, right?
Yeah, real talk.
These motherfuckers is transformers, right? But there's one motherfucker that I look at, I've never seen this motherfucker act out of character. They're always tight, and that's Denzel.
Oh, gosh.
And I can't imagine Denzel doing anything. Like if Denzel had done this, I'd be like, they must have put something in his drink. Yeah. Like that's how much class he has, damn. Right? I mean, I would listen and to respect, and you know, I heard this on another podcast, and what they said was, you should not, and I have to listen to this. As stupid as I think Will was, the statement was, you should not judge the content of a person's life by one mistake.
That's facts.
And if anyone deserves the benefit of the doubt on some foolishness, it's Will Smith.
Absolutely.
Because he's never shown us to be, at least in the public eye, and I don't know, obviously none of us know him personally, but he's never shown us to be other than a solid dude, right? I know people that have met him in person who were just fans, right, at restaurants, different places. I know a couple of people, actually. That was one of them.
Yeah.
And they went to him and was like, hey, we know you're not, you know, you're your friends or your family.
He's
like, yeah, I can take a picture right quick. He's like, you got 2 minutes, but let's take as many pictures as you want in 2 minutes. Yeah. Like, that's a solid dude. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, as much shit as I'm talking about Will, and I mean every bit of it, I think that there's no other piece of information or action that I've seen from Will Smith that would cause me to think that this was anything but a bad decision that night.
That's why I don't think he deserves 10 years. I'd have gave him like 3 or 4, but 10?
Does that mean he can't win or he just can't come?
Either.
I don't think it's either.
He can't win.
He can't win or come.
You can't win or come.
Really?
And if you can't come, you never really winning.
Side note, didn't Samuel win that night
pause.
Too?
No. No, Samuel was there to present him with the award, but Will won that night.
No, but I thought another black actor won.
It was like somebody
supporting cast or something
like a documentary or something like that. It was a black guy. He won his award was right after the slap.
Okay. So man, I got it.
But you know what? Saying what you're saying, and I agree with you holistically about, you know, Will being Will, and he's been a stand-up guy, and he's not the sum total of one decision. The problem is, his wife has aired out all his dirty laundry, and it's messy as fuck. And because of all of the mess and all of the noise that's surrounded, he's not going to get that one chance. If their house was in order and he did this shit, no issue. Do you see what I'm saying? He wouldn't get half the slack that he's getting right now. But because everyone knows he's not in control and he's out of control, that's why everyone is poking fun at him. Do you see? Everyone's poking at him because he's exposed
not
himself.
Actually poking at him.
It's a raw nerve.
There are a lot of women who
are supporting
him and are impressed and say this. I saw one Facebook post and it was so funny. The girl said, "If y'all scared to fight, just say you're afraid to fight." You know what I mean? Like, as to say, that's why men are saying they wouldn't, you know, say anything or would have done differently.
And that's a dumb hoe. And
so,
I don't even use hoe that like that, but that's a dumb hoe statement right there.
Yeah, but it was funny because that's their perspective.
And it's still a dumb one.
You know, and I agree with Gent because, listen, as somebody that fought many, many times growing up, and I fought in high school and I fought in college, I fought as a grown-ass 20-something-year-old in downtown Orlando in Antigua. You know what I mean?
That one was unnecessary.
So my point is this. My point is this. What you realize as you grow up is that fighting shit, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Like, you know, it's interesting. Like I was having this conversation with my son the other day. Somebody pissed me off, and I'm a bit volatile at times.
Understood.
So my son, when my son sees me get pissed off, he's like, "Dad, don't hit him," right? So he's never seen me hit anyone like in person, but I told myself, I said, man, if I hit this guy, I'm probably going to hurt him. I'm going to catch a charge. It's gonna throw a monkey wrench in my life. My hand's gonna hurt. Like, this is shit I didn't think about in my 20s. I was just like, I'm about to break his jaw, and whatever happens, happens, right? But my point is that any grown ass woman advocating that if my man really loves me, he'll fight for me. Let me tell you something. Fighting, and you guys all heard this as a kid, but when you grow an adult, it's full circle. Fighting should be a last resort. It should be a last resort because that shit comes with nothing but bad consequences.
You know what the difference is?
You know what I mean?
Here's the difference, Joe. There's a difference between fighting for no fucking reason, and trust me, everyone here knows that I have no problem with doing that. And there's a difference between protecting your woman. If she is truly in danger.
Exactly.
No doubt.
If you didn't step up and step through.
Correct.
Then you is softer than wet toilet tissue. Do you see what I'm saying?
And every real man knows what that is.
And everyone knows what
that
that
wasn't
is.
it on that stage.
That was not the time, bro.
Right.
And
She could have never been safer.
Chris better than me.
Right. You're right, dude. You're right.
Never been safer.
What you say, Joe?
I said Chris better than me because I wouldn't have hit him, but I definitely would have pressed charges. Like, I'd have taught your ass a lesson.
Yeah, but
Because you're not going to embarrass me on national TV like that.
Listen.
I would have pressed charges so quick.
He got to keep his black card. We don't
No,
do
but
that.
listen,
We don't do that.
listen, but I agree with Joe because listen, then one or two things have to happen. Chris has to put his hands on Will, or you have to press charges. It's one
It gotta be
or
one of
the
the-
other.
I think it's
you
gonna
can't
be,
you can't get out scot free. You can't be at the awards ceremony, the awards party.
gonna get touched. Will gonna get touched. Watch your back,
Listen,
Will.
they show Will at the party.
Yeah, he was dancing and
shit.
grooving.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
dancing.
I can't
Chris gonna
see
get
that.
him.
I'm spending $15,000 on the hit.
Let me get two
I'm
drinks. Let me get two drinks. I gotta go see which party Will at. I got to come see him.
Oh yeah, all my goons is riding there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know. Even if I don't got goons, I'm gonna go to rent a goon. It ain't gonna go down like that, bro.
You stupid.
Yeah, I think if Jada, and this is where a lot of relationships go wrong, you know, them aside, you have to communicate, you know, and when you respect someone, you communicate better, you know. I speak even back to my college days again. It's just the lack of communication is because I didn't really care how you felt. I didn't respect you fully enough to even value your opinion. So because of that, I'm not going to communicate how I feel. I'm not going to communicate my true intentions, you know, and things of that nature. So really, respect plays such an important factor in every relationship. And I don't think we even look at it like that, you know.
That's facts.
What else we got, Jesus?
Definitely. All right. So do you feel like it's your job as a mate to put your partner's needs above your own? Does that come off as respect for you? Any of you can take that one.
Their needs before my own?
Yeah. Prioritizing them first.
Well, you know, when a brother think that long, he don't really
No, that's
want to
an
say the
interesting
right.
question.
He
No, that's
really
an
don't want to
interesting
say
question,
yes. He
No.
just want to
That's
say.
interesting.
So I do feel so I don't feel like you need to put their needs before your own. I do feel like you need to love them in their love language, but I don't feel like you need to put your needs before their own, because if you put your needs before their own, like, you're losing yourself.
And that's what we just talked
time
about too.
Time out. He said perfectly what I think I was trying to say a couple podcasts ago when y'all was calling me selfish about my pizza. Y'all remember I was talking about my pizza?
No, you was fucking selfish.
No, but I wasn't using the right analogy. I wasn't using the right words. No, honestly. But I think Joe said
Yeah.
it perfectly. I don't necessarily think you put somebody else before you, but you find out what makes them feel valued, and you ensure that you're doing those things. And I don't necessarily think those are the same things.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
right.
They're
Well said.
completely different things. Because I'm like, I'm not like, so in my last relationship, I was in a long distance relationship.
Okay.
And I knew that quality time was one of her, main things. So I knew if
the opposite of long distance.
correct, right? So I
Not
had
necessarily.
so I had to get creative. So
Right.
if I have a day off, or if I'm not with a client, all right, we're FaceTiming, we're watching a movie on Netflix together, just something to where she can kind of feel like we're there.
together.
Because I don't even like FaceTiming, but I made that sacrifice.
Yeah.
But that's not, I don't necessarily want to say that's putting her needs before mine, but that's just showing her, loving her how she needs to be loved.
Yeah.
I honestly think that it's situational. There's some times that I think you may have to put someone's needs over your own. So, for example, we walking through life, we are married, whatever the situation, and we both want to push our career forward, but both of us can't go to college at the same time. We both can't go back to school at the same time. I may be able to just say, hey, listen, you go first, knowing that rightfully that I want to push my shit. I want to make the more money. I feel like as a man, I need to be the provider, whatever the case may be, whatever my rationale is. But I say, you know what? You go first. I got you. I'll hold it down. I'll take care of the kids, whatever the case may be. There's situations where I feel like, yeah, you can. But to your point, you need to learn to love you first, or you can't love nobody else, dog. So at the end of the day, I agree with you.
I feel like women do it more than men. Like, women will, what I mean by putting these further on, so they'll be like, okay, like, to what you said, they'll have a family. They'll put the career on the back burner to take care of the family. Yeah. But in all actuality, like, hey, I don't know, do y'all watch Bel Air? Did y'all watch Bel Air?
I don't got Peacock, bro. I mean, if you got it,
if you subscribe.
I mean, is it free?
No.
I'll let you borrow my audio.
Okay, that's the blackest shit that I've ever heard, and I love it.
I was going to sign up, too.
I'm in it.
In that, she had basically put her painting to the side because she wanted to raise the family, but even though she put the family needs before her own, she felt that type of resentment, and it's like a fine line. It's a fine line.
Yeah.
The thing about that is, in those situations, you're not respecting yourself because this is important to you, and then that resentment creeps in, and that's going to trickle down throughout the family. So you do have to prioritize your needs in many ways because a better version of you helps foster a better atmosphere and energy in the family. You know? Yeah.
So I'll say one more thing. In my last relationship, I was supposed to move to Syracuse. That's where she was at.
Don't ever do that. That's not where you want.
But we ended up splitting because she basically said, she was like, I want you to be happy. In the jobs I was working, I wasn't happy. And she was like, in order for your business to grow, you don't need the pressure of you trying to move. So I'm going to end it. And if it comes back around, it comes back around. And I fully respect her for that. Because even though I had a plan in place, now I can take more time as opposed to trying to rush.
Yeah, that's
and
real.
To me, that's her respecting you and what you got going on, also while respecting what she has. And sometimes respect looks like we're not going to be together. It doesn't work out, but, we walk away amicably.
Well, then Will needs to respect the shit out of Jada right now. Respect her all day long.
I wonder what, I don't even know if we're going to bring this up, but I just wonder what the kids think of their parents and of their father, right? Like, does Jaden go, my dad's my dad and I love him? Does he go, I love my dad, but he's soft as a motherfucker? Does he go, I love my dad and him and my mom have a weird relationship, but at the end of the day, they're my parents and they fuck with me, so I fuck with them? Like, I wonder.
I imagine the daughter would love her dad, but also look at him like, I don't know if I want a man like that.
Yeah,
type deal. Like,
she's gonna get a wife.
I don't think she cannot love. I don't think you cannot love your father. He took care of her. She knows he's the real breadwinner. Jada had a few movies, you know what I mean, but Will really makes the bulk of the money.
I think when you start talking about millionaires, so somebody got 15, somebody got 2. I mean, they all rich.
You're right. Like,
if Will wasn't around, Jada would be just fine.
I agree.
And they got their own bread, by the way. They model for like Ralph Lauren. and all that
Yeah.
So.
But I do still think though that they would love their parents and love Will, but at the same time, look at him and they're adults now to be able to assess and say, hey. I don't know if I would want to move that way. I would have did different.
Well, I can tell you that, and so I was talking, and someone told me that Willow wrote a letter to Pac pleading him to return to her mother because she was so broken. And you have a daddy.
Stop. Okay, so I need hold up. I need a second. So clearly, Jada and Will had a daughter, their second born, who was old enough to write a letter to Tupac. Was he dead already?
I don't know the context behind that, but they read the letter.
So that tells you all
you need to fucking know.
Yeah. I will need to read the letter.
Yeah, it had to be tense at the house.
Yeah, I mean, we can get the letter up on the socials later.
Doesn't really even matter.
The real talk is
it doesn't. The fact that it exists.
If your daughter is writing a letter to one of your old hoes, it's not a good look. Facts. It don't matter what she says.
You don't respect your father because he dead right now. You wouldn't make that statement.
And you only know to do that because you have witnessed your mother not respect
in constant disrespect.
And that is the only thing you've seen and known. So what doing that is not even wrong in your opinion, in your view.
He lost his opportunity to fully have Jada when he got with her and realized that she was not over Tupac, and yet proceeded to engage in a would-be relationship with her. Because let me tell you something. It's happened to me one time in my life. I was living up in DC for about 6 months right after I graduated from undergrad, and I met this young lady, and she was awesome. Like, I mean, she was awesome. Like, in shape. I met her at the gym, actually. In shape, chocolate sister, man. Just beautiful, smart. She was going to school to get her master's in psychology. Just real smart. I don't think I talked about this on the podcast before. And I enjoyed, and at that time I wasn't really working. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had my undergrad degree, and had decided I was going to go to law school. But during this point, I had to wait a few months till it started again. So I was chilling with her all the time. When she wasn't in class, she was going to GW. I was with her. We'd be going out to lunch, all this other stuff. And probably about a couple weeks into us hanging out, we hung out maybe 2 or 3 times. Like, I remember her making a couple of references, and she kept referencing, "Oh, my ex, he da-da-da-da." So that's a red flag to me. That's a red flag to me, because I don't play second fiddle to nobody. And like we talked about before the podcast started, there's somebody, General Jeezy said, there's somebody for everyone, right? And like I said, like I always noticed in my life, even since I was a kid, there's girls that are going to think I'm wildly attractive. There are girls that are going to think I'm just cute and okay. And there's girls going to think, hey, he's not my type. And you got to be okay with that. And that goes for everyone, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, she's loving somebody else. And so I'm talking to her about it. She was like, oh, no, I'm over him. You know, he cheated and I can't deal with that and da-da-da. And you're awesome and everything and da-da-da-da. But she kept referencing this motherfucker. So probably like our 4th or 5th date, I said, hey, can I be honest with you? She said, yeah. I said, this ain't going to work. And she said, why? I said, because you're not over him. And she's like, well, I'm not getting back with him. I said, that's not what I said. I don't think you'll get back to him. Yeah. I think you're scarred by him cheating on you, but you're also not over him. Mm-hmm. Like, they were together for like 2.5 years. And they got to remember, at this time, I'm like 22, 23. So, and she's like a year younger than me. So
get out of there.
That young love, you know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm not going to invest the time into this relationship that I would have typically done had you not had the baggage, because I'm coming in at a time where the baggage is still smelling like new baggage, right? I need it smell like leather. I need that baggage to smell like the closet when I get here, right? It smells like leather right now, and so I can't be here. And she called me. She was, this is ridiculous. You're making assumptions. You're thinking for me. I said, no, I'm actually thinking for myself and my well-being. And so I ended that relationship, and I hope she's well. But who knows what that could have been, right? But I know what it wasn't. It wasn't the right time for me, and I had to make sure that she was clear on that,
A lot of people, they try to wait it out. Like, their plan is to love you through your foolishness. You mentioned Pac dying. There are a lot of people who are going to shoot that shot and say, no, I know he or she is in love with their widow or their ex. Yeah. But I think I can, if I stick around, I can become relevant. Like, they know that's their end. The door's cracked. They know they don't have a strong end. And catching you in your weakness and supporting you is their way in. So,
do you think that's fool's gold, Joe?
Yep.
It works for people all the time, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You think it's fool's gold?
Yeah, definitely think it's fool's gold. Because so when the dust settles,
exactly,
what's next? Like once they get back to where they need to be, like what's next? It's like, okay, you helped me, but I still don't like you that way. Yeah. So now you just wasted your time.
There's nothing harsher than loving somebody who don't love you the same as you love them. And my dad, remember what Daddy used to say to us? Never love a woman more than they love you.
But what you said though, I can't agree, because I don't think you're ever gonna I don't believe everyone is always on the same wavelength of love. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's far less likely to me. I do feel like
give me an example. Explain that.
I believe in most relationships, one person loves the other more than the other, and I'm almost certain of it.
I would agree with that,
and I'm almost certen of it to the 99.9%.
With D's smile, I'm kind of figuring out what that mix look like.
And watch what you say, Des, and we'll talk about this off the recording, because I'll straighten that shit out immediately for you.
No, but I want to talk. But I want to reference that. And I mean, listen, if your point is it can even be to a small degree, then I would agree with you. Because, I wouldn't necessarily say that it is always somebody loves somebody, it's 75-25, right?
No,
if you're saying 60, if you're saying 55, you're saying 55-45, 60-40, something like that.
All I'm saying is that it's noticeable, and within the relationship itself, the person who loves more, they may not even be able to see it. It really depends on how good the other person is. But if they both are honest with themselves, they know which is which and who is who.
It's true.
And they know the other person loves them less than they do. They know it.
Do y'all think that has anything to do with how the person values themselves? And what I mean by that is not that one of the other necessarily has a low self-esteem, but what I mean is this. And when you have your shit together, and that's man or woman.
Yeah.
When you have your shit together and you are aware of your power, of your value, then you become that much more powerful. When you are unaware of your value or have assessed your value and decided it's less than this person's value, then you feel like this is the best I'm going to get. And so you then put more into a relationship because you feel like it's the best opportunity for that type of relationship versus a person who does not.
Yes, we talked about this on a happy hour once on the podcast. When you have more going against you, you have to compensate in other ways. If you're a fat girl and he normally dates skinny girls, you might suck a little dick more. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to find a way to compensate because you feel how you feel about yourself. I've been on dates with girls when a girl was like, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that you're on a date with me.
I've heard that.
And they weren't ugly.
Right.
They were cute. Now, were they the finest girl? No. Could I have had finer? Yeah. And I appreciate her acknowledging that.
But
the reality,
Jesus, man, you ain't had to throw that piece in there, dog.
But the reality is, she put that in her mind, right? And that lack of confidence came from her, but it wasn't something that I was giving off or saying that. So is her interest more than mine? I mean, from the outside looking in, you can say so, but that's just more her mentality to me.
Yeah. But I know you guys are taking it from that stance. I think sometimes there's scenarios where it has nothing to do with how they're perceiving themselves or not. There's some people who come into relationships and they go 100. Nothing in the reserves. That's just how they go. They only do 0 or 100. And then there's people who like, man, I got emotional trauma. I got damage. Ain't nobody going to hurt me like this. So therefore, I'm going to put 30% to the side. Bitch, the most you going to get is 70. And I don't even know if you can earn that 30. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it could go.
Don't talk to them.
Yeah.
You got to leave them alone.
I think it could go either way.
I need all of you.
You need all of them?
I need all of you, boo-boo.
What you feel like, Joe?
I agree with y'all. So, right, I feel like when a person has their shit together, you only get one chance. Like you're not getting another chance. A person that don't got their shit together, you'll get a few chances.
Hey,
but
that's real talk.
On the head.
That's the realest shit that I've actually heard.
But a person that got their shit together, like, okay, fuck up if you want to. It's a wrap.
Okay. Now, listen, this is just a quick side note because y'all, that's a sensitive subject for me, low key.
Or high key.
Yeah, or high key. But I just want to speak to that real quick. And I'm glad I might have to use this clip later.
Can't stand you.
Sometimes people make mistakes, right? And it's not necessarily a true representative of who they are. You said earlier, one mistake doesn't define you, right? Mm-hmm. You got your shit together, ladies, fellas. Nigga make mistake, hoe make mistake. Nah, fuck that shit. I'm moving on. You have every right to. The reality is sometimes we make mistakes early for several reasons. We forget the trauma, but we do have all triggers from our past, shit that we've dealt with. Sometimes you get into a new situation and you just mishandle it. One mistake shouldn't end it all, even if you have your shit together. Now, I'm not talking about colossal mistakes, obviously, but if you have something that can be discussed and it's something that could be worked on easily, I don't think one mistake should end it. And I short tolerance here. I know I don't have much patience, even in college. I never really had much patience. But one mistake, that I don't think that's what it should end.
So in my last relationship, right? Like, everything was going smooth. I felt like she elevated me as a man to where I am now. Because before I met her and where I'm at now, two completely different people.
Kudos to her.
But I'm like, damn, you didn't hold a nigga down for less, and I don't get another chance. like I don't get another chance, and I'm just like.
But see, she has a point though. I did all that, nigga, and you need one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already got you right, and then now you need a chance. Like, there was almost no reason to. To me, that's reverse of what what I was talking about. I'm talking about if early in the game you dating someone 2-3 weeks and they make a mistake. I don't know if that's something you got to jump. I mean, again, unless it's colossal. But if I'm with you, how long were you with her? A year, 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
Come on, 2 years and you fucking up still?
No. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just mainly, like I said, she wanted me to move. I wasn't necessarily ready to move. And then we went, she was like, all right, I'm going to cut it off.
She held you down and took care of you for 2 years, and you don't want to stick with the plan.
No.
Guess what? She got a new plan. You're not a part of it. So I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
You know what another thing is when I'm sitting here thinking about respect? Another component of it is kind of respecting your partner actually will improve your sex life. You sit here and think about it. Going back to our case study right now, do you feel like Jada respects Will? I think we say no, right?
Hell no.
She's gone on and on about how his dick ain't shit, basically. And then she fucked Young Boy. And remember, Young Boy had lupus, too. So, it's basically fucking someone with no legs, nigga, and he's still doing better than Will Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in what way does respecting
it plays into your sex life? Because let's just be honest.
You can make a bitch come when she don't like you.
Exactly.
But I don't think I'm making your point.
No, but I'm saying
he's not.
No, but here's the point here's the point.
Yo, exactly was too hard.
No. But here's the point that I'm trying to make. A girl can respect you in the bedroom and not respect you outside, right? Like the bedroom is a totally different thing. I've seen people respect someone's dick, stay with that nigga long
so
time.
You're
I
saying,
don't think respect is the point. My point is, me making you nut is. I don't think respect comes into play.
I think
you can reverse it, I think is what he's saying. And he's saying that if I respect him so much, or the respect is so great that she has so much respect for the things that I've done and how I've taken care of her, that now in bed she wants to submit to be more to, if not,
that's viewed as
bitches me. That I don't respect have made me come at multiple times throughout my life. So that's my point. Okay. My point is, I didn't respect them. I didn't think they had anything going for them. They had a fat ass.
But did they respect you though?
And I nutted, huh?
But did they respect you?
Wasn't it required for me to bust that nut? So I didn't really ask them to have that conversation.
But we're talking about from their side. You're getting the best sexual experience because they probably respected you, wanted to be with you, wanted to be your next baby mama. All these things.
I'm trying to find this out.
All of these things, D. And therefore she gave you that Glock 3000 and made you come. So she respected you that much to give you everything that she had in the gas tank. That's why you came.
I think the girls give Glock 3000 that don't respect any of the niggas they give it to because they don't even know them. They're sucking dick on the first night. But my point is that it's out there. Okay. And so if listen, I'm not going to argue with you.
No.
Is sex better when both sides really love each other and respect and have things in common and it's intimate and sensual? Yes. What I'm saying is that's not a requirement for good sex. If Jada wasn't getting good sex from Will, it wasn't just because she didn't respect him. It's because that nigga wasn't laying the pipe.
And I agree, because I don't know what you could do for a hoe outside the bedroom that could make her respect you so much that would compensate for whack dick in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So like, you respect me. You respect me, but I'm gonna come in here and give you these 3 pumps and I'm done.
And I got to give him that because think about how many.
Love me though.
Think about how many great dudes out there that do everything under the sun, and a woman will leave them, cheat on them just because their sex ain't good. But then think about all the men that out there laying down this hella pipe, this A1 pipe.
Ain't got shit going for them.
Ain't got shit going on them. All they got is a bowl of cereal and video games every morning. And guess what? She's still taking care of him.
He got 5 of them.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet, and you all tell me if you agree. I'm willing to bet that a woman would prefer great sex, great dick, and a middle income over small dick, whack dick, and a bigger income.
How big is the bigger income? Because if it's millions, dog, I think
I
that
mean,
there's a threshold.
I'm not
to
talking about
everything.
substantial like
Okay,
millions.
okay.
But I'm saying a nigga with good dick making $80,000 versus a nigga with whack dick making $200,000.
All other things being equal, I would agree with you. Now, because what I would put into there too is if the whack dude is attentive and they do things, they try, like they have a good time together, they have a great life, and she's like, look, his dick ain't the best, but we're gonna do some other things. I'm gonna bust a nut at the end of the day, and I'm gonna. And the other buddy is just like, yeah, I got a big dick, and I'm gonna fuck your whole. And we don't do nothing. We don't go out. You don't love me like the other nigga love me. Then I don't necessarily.
Let's assume that both love.
That's why I said all things being
all
equal. Then I would.
Yeah.
I don't think that 140 grand would make a difference for her, because I think she would say, look, if the dick is good, we vibing, and he makes enough money to have a good life and take care of himself, then I think she wouldn't care about the extra 100 grand. Some girls might. They just fuck the nigga that made less.
Make a girl come 3-4 times while you fucking her. And I'm not talking about that night. I'm talking about within 20 minutes. The respect you will get, nigga. The way she will admire you. There's nothing she won't do for you. So I am telling you, the money sounds good, and hoes will take your money, right? And those the ones that typically ain't fucked you, and they don't really have interest to. They want to use you. They will take great dick and less money over a more money and whack dick.
So, Joe, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you think, okay, let's change the scenario. Will Smith really is the epitome of great sex and is giving it to Jada the way that maybe August was, right? Do you think this changes the way that she comes at him, the way that she handles him, the way that she respects him?
I felt like if he was really put it down like that, it wouldn't be an open marriage to begin with.
Of course, man.
Facts.
He should be fucking. Listen,
Because they'll be hogging that. Yeah.
Hell yeah, like no woman, like so look, like realistically think about it, right?
Say it.
Like women don't like sharing the dick that they
Don't
love.
even like talking about
Exactly.
it. If it's good.
So like you think so your dick is that good.
Hey,
so I'm gonna
that's a great point.
let other bitches fuck you?
Yeah.
Nah.
Dog.
Nah.
They want to say something in the at the hairdresser, but they holding their lips.
Well,
Because they know as soon as they fuck up, their best friend is trying to get the same dick.
Exactly, bruh.
Facts.
once you make a girl come, she don't really want to let you go. If the dick is good, she's like, dang, I got to keep this. That's a girl's mindset. You know, men, we come every time. You know, if we don't come, it's because we didn't want to.
Nah.
Or it was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad. And even then, I'll roll over and bust and beat off right there, ho. I'm gonna get my nut. I mean, you can be here too if you want.
Not necessary, but
a man's
but
gonna
welcome.
get that.
It was option.
I think a woman appreciates it more because it's a rarity more. Women don't. There are a lot of girls who come easy, right? God bless those women, and I hope to. Man,
They call it the orgasm gap, man.
just keep-
It's the new thing that everyone's talking about. The difference in regards to how easy it is for a man to come versus a woman to come. And so to your it only energizes it only energizes your point that, man, when a woman finds that good, like,
because a lot of women don't.
Can I say this too, though? I mean, like, what I would tell you too, part of that is, and I won't get into a whole, biology thing, but part of that is because of the man's purpose on the earth is to procreate, right? Which is, we'll save this, right? But why monogamy, I think, is it's unnatural, but that's a whole nother topic we can talk about. But what I would say is the male of any species, right? His responsibility above all else is to procreate, right? It is to spread his seed, right? As far and as wide as possible. That means you need to be able to get that sperm in her ASAP. So a lot of these niggas busting in 2 minutes was real troopers like 400-500 years ago. These niggas was out here with a bunch of kids, right? Because they was efficient. A lot of long strokers wasn't winning 400-500 years ago. You fucking bitch for 2 hours. This nigga done nutted in 3 bitches already.
But listen, though, it explains to why so many women look angry as fuck back in the day, dog.
That
They
makes
was
sense.
not getting theirs, dog.
Oh no, not at all. But
Yeah.
that wasn't, but so my point is that I think, I'll save my point to another.
It's changed now.
I get your
though.
point, no doubt.
Women definitely, obviously, want to get theirs, and that's why I say I think it's just a great appreciation when a woman finds good dick versus when a man finds good pussy. He'll take it for granted. A man will find.
Will he or will he leave it on the table because there's so much of it?
No, I don't think he'll leave it on the table. If a man finds great pussy, he's gonna fuck it. He's gonna fuck it whenever he wants or thinks about it.
Really?
But he
Many
will
of
take
them
it
have
for granted.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
he'll take
I'm
it.
glad you said that because it's true.
He'll spoil that good pussy nigga and never think twice. Whereas a woman will think carefully before ruining good dick.
I disagree.
I'm not saying that we're agreeing. We're not saying the different things. I'm not saying a man won't say no to pussy. I mean, a nigga with any sense and worth and values turns pussy down all the time. We talk about that all the time. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying a man will take for granted good pussy because he knows there's more good pussy out there to get.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, I mean,
You back on the track, huh?
real easy. Like,
Agreed.
oh man, nigga be like, dog, you gonna let that go? Come on, man. You seen this one? Oh yeah, you can't. Like, it's that simple for us.
agreed,
Where a
agreed.
woman is like, I might not get that again. And there are a lot of women who get in relationships and when it ends, 10, 11, 12, 13 years before they get into another relationship.
So this is a hot take, right?
That wasn't a fucking choice.
This is a hot take, but with some of the women that I've encountered or like have been friends with, and they have, let's say, the relationship turned like abusive or whatever, and I'm like, so why are you still with him? The dick is immaculate, and I'm like, does that mean that
Damn,
like
what?
So now you can punch a hole in the face. And,
like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, is it
tough
that
right
good?
there.
Like,
That's tough right there to hear that. That's tough to hear, bruh.
good dick could get you far in life.
No, that's tough to hear,
Tougher
bruh.
for her. Tougher for her.
Yeah.
You got that black eye and a swollen pussy, huh? You everything swollen up.
That's a lot to be swollen at the same
Being
time,
everything
bruh.
black and blue.
I don't appreciate that. You know, I think that's some weak shit. You know, just PSA on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, just to wrap it up, man, like, respect is so important, and without it, you'll do some dumb shit. I mean, it will show that,
Yeah.
so you really got to respect yourself more than anything, because respect from others isn't guaranteed.
You have to, and I'm gonna say this right, and I'm probably gonna fuck up some pussy for a nigga tonight, but listen, ladies, we talking about Will and Jada, so I'm gonna take it a different way. I'm just gonna say, playing on what Jeezy said, yo, respect yourself. Respect yourself. And listen, I'm not saying that you can't fuck who you want because you
I know
grown.
what you're gonna say now.
Yeah, like I'm not saying you can't fuck who you want because you grown. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if this motherfucker is not worth your time, don't find reasons to make him worth your time.
Yeah.
Right? He should show you
Digging
he's
deep,
worth
trying
your
to
time.
find.
Right? You making excuses for a nigga. Well, I know he work late. He don't work on Saturdays though. He don't work on Saturdays. So I ain't call you back yet.
Yeah.
Right? So just and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that
you blowing up households out
listen, but let me tell you something. That man that's not calling you back after you call him 6 times, it's because he knows you'll call him 9. So he'll answer you on the 10th time, right? When he gets ready.
Yeah.
But the one you call once and he know if he missed that call, you won't hit his ass up again, he'll return your call. That's it.
And that's a deep, if we took a turn down that alley, we'd be there all night, because there's a reason why he can do that to her, and there's a reason why she don't want.
doubt.
There's a reason why she don't want the nigga that answers on the first ring. Damn, nigga, you so available.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah,
'cause
we're gonna
women-
talk
women
about
like
that,
a
but-
man doing their own thing.
Yeah, but on the final thought for me, it has to go to, hey, fellas, express yourself. And when you express yourself, mean what you say what you mean. Don't allow that shit to fester. Don't internalize that shit, because at the end of the day, nothing stays down forever. It's going to bubble up. It's going to pour out. You're going to make some dumbass decisions, and it's not going to represent you well. So at the end of the day, show yourself some respect, and ensure that you make sure these women respect you as well. Like, and women respect a man that deserves that respect. And
Facts.
If you're not giving him respect, and you know down
Somebody
deep
else is.
that you know that motherfucker
Somebody else is.
deserves that respect.
Promise you.
You don't deserve that motherfucker. And to be honest with you, I hope he leaves your ass tomorrow. I mean, real talk.
Listen, and I'm gonna let Joe put his word in, but I'm gonna tell you this: you could give a nigga the pussy out of obligation every night of the week, and if he feel like you don't respect him, he'll still cheat on your ass.
Damn,
Respect.
That's real talk, though.
Respect
Jesus.
is everything.
It's everything, bro.
It's everything. You fucking nigga 2-3 times a week like you want it, like you want to fuck him, and you show him respect all the days of the week.
Longevity.
he'll be committed to you much longer than the girl who's doing whatever but doesn't show him the respect he needs. And that's how. Listen, if you
gotta
understand
too, women. Fucking a man right and submitting to him is the ultimate sign of respect to him. Y'all want to be loved, and every man wants to be loved too. But when you please a man sexually, when you suck his dick and you looking in his eye and you let him inside of you, he takes that as you respecting him. To me, that's how I interpret it. Like
we know you interpret it like
no,
that.
but I think a lot of niggas like
that's why niggas don't respect when a woman gives that up so freely because
that's a good point.
Yeah, she's on the honor of letting me inside of you. You respect me. You know what I'm saying? And then you command it when you get in the pussy all the way around. You never slip.
Man can't take that for granted either.
Constantly.
So real talk. But Joe, final thoughts?
So quick question real quick. So he
wanted to go hit that one.
So if a girl let you hit on the first date, you don't respect her?
Oh no, I never said that.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm married a woman I hit on the first date, man.
I wouldn't. And I'm the type of person that will decline that easily on the first date until I'm good enough.
Yeah, there were instances where I did that as well, but that was more mind game. That's more power plays for me.
I'm doing it on the reels. Like, to be honest with you,
she wasn't that bad.
We ain't exchanging energy that quick right there, man.
I got you.
Real bad?
Yeah.
Diving.
Okay, Trey.
Y'all stupid.
My bad, Joe. Go ahead.
All I was just gonna say was, man, like if you don't have respect in your relationship, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's really not gonna work at the end of the day. You can try to make it work, but it's not gonna work.
Facts.
Yeah. Respect looks different for everybody too.
It does.
So don't come into a relationship with your foregone conclusion of the type of respect you're gonna give this motherfucker you in a relationship with. Understand to Joe's point earlier, understand what their love language is, understand what they see as respect, what that means to them, and then you tune your behavior and interaction with those persons, those people accordingly. And that's how you start to bake the cake right.
And real quick, that doesn't mean you're changing for the person. If you know someone interprets love this way, their love language is gifts or physical touch, you're adjusting the way you love. That's not you changing. That's just how you showing love. It's a good adjustment. It's a necessary compromise. Anything short of that, you're fucking up and you lose that relationship. That's on you. Just because you've been loving one way doesn't mean you can't love another way. It won't change how you need to be loved. It just changes how you need to express that love to this different person.
Right.
So tighten up, host.
We love y'all.
Hey, Brunch with the Boys. We're on all podcast platforms. And we're going to be fresh on Amazon Music starting Monday as well.
Okay.
So, yes, Apple, Spotify, we on all of it. YouTube presence is out there for real. Socials. Hey, find us on Instagram at Brunch with Boys. Find us on TikTok, Brunch with the Boys.
Nigga made a new app.
Yeah. And find us on Twitter at Brunch_Boys with a Z. Hey, listen, Joe, I appreciate you.
Where you find Joe at?
Hey, give us the socials, man. Give us all of it.
All right, so Thoughts of an Average Show podcast is on all platforms. Average JTPC, that's the podcast Instagram for that. Baby Daddy Chronicles, that's the Instagram for that. Is
check
Baby
that
Daddy
out.
Chronicles Pod.
That one out too.
And then my business Instagram is The Average Show Media, and then my personal Instagram is The Original Playmaker.
Hey, how many episodes you dropping?
So Average Joe, I drop about 4 a month. I have like 158.
Oh wow.
Baby Daddy Chronicles, I just started in August. I'm about to be on that every other week. That's episode 16. Originally, what I want to happen is I want eventually the Baby Daddy Chronicles to take place at the Average Show and flip-flop it to where Baby Daddy Chronicles is every week. Thoughts of an Average Show podcast is every 2 weeks. Baby Daddy Chronicles is a little slow just because
that's how baby daddies get down.
Yeah, I realized quick, even though I don't have a kid, because eventually I wanted to switch it to where when I have a kid, I chronicle the pregnancy and going on like that.
Yeah.
Women don't give a fuck about baby daddies. They don't care about their stories. I literally had a woman tell me, she was like, I thought about watching it, but I just ain't really feel like hearing bitter stories. But I don't even present bitter stories. It's strictly like, I had like an episode on there last time with a doula, explaining like how men are important during the pregnancy, because a lot of women is always about the women, but it's never really about the men. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that.
Most women do not care about the struggle of a man. They don't care about our story.
That's a whole nother podcast.
No woman is empathizing for what we deal with. If we were to list shit and say,
Don't give it to them all, Jeezy. Don't give it to them all.
No, I'm not. From the perspective of, oh man, this is what I'm feeling out of y'all. A woman would laugh at us. So I'll leave it there. But we gonna touch that.
That's too much right now.
That.
All right, but hey, we'll make sure we check out Average Joe, Baby Daddy Chronicles for sure. Brunch with the Boys. We out here.
Yes, sir.